My team left me for dead in Iraq, then I showed up at their reunion dinner. Our convoy got hit by an IED en route Michigan. I was a specialist riding in the 3rd Humvee when the blast threw our vehicle 15 feet off the road. The explosion was so massive that command initially reported all 4 of us KIA. I woke up 3 days later in a field hospital with no memory of the extraction. Broken ribs, shattered collarbone, severe concussion, burns on my left side. The medic told me I was found 50 yards from the vehicle, blown clear by the blast. Here's where it gets complicated. My team thought I was dead. The initial casualty report listed me as KIA because nobody could find me in the immediate aftermath. They searched for maybe 10 minutes before taking more fire and having to pull back. Staff Sergeant Dalton made the call to leave my body and evacuate the other wounded. Can't blame him. That's the right tactical decision when you're taking heavy fire. By the time they realized I was alive, I'd already been medevaced to Germany. My platoon had moved to a different FOB. Communication in 2007 Iraq was terrible. The correction never reached them. For 6 months, my team thought I died in that blast. They held a memorial. My squad leader, Corporal Hayes, wrote a letter to my parents. They mounted my picture in the company area with black ribbon. Meanwhile, I'm recovering at Walter Reed, then doing physical therapy at Fort Hood. Eventually got medically retired with a Purple Heart and 40% disability rating. I moved back to Ohio, got a job at a manufacturing plant, tried to move on with my life. Didn't reach out to anyone from my unit because honestly, I had survivor's guilt and PTSD bad enough that I didn't want to talk about Iraq with anyone. Fast forward to 2019. I'm scrolling Facebook and see a post about my old platoon's reunion, some VFW hall in Tennessee. The post showed a flyer with all the KIA names listed at the bottom. There I was, Specialist Austin Carter, killed in action March 15th, 2007. My wife Emma looked over my shoulder and said, "Babe, that's you. You should go. They think I'm dead. It'll just make things weird. You need to tell them you're alive. For them, they've been carrying that for 12 years. She was right. So I drove 8 hours to Tennessee and walked into that VFW hall wearing my old unit baseball cap. The room went completely silent. Staff Sergeant Dalton, now retired as a master sergeant, dropped his beer. It shattered on the floor. Corporal Hayes, who I later learned made sergeant first class before getting out, just stared at me like he was seeing a ghost. "Holy shit," someone whispered. "That's Carter." Dalton walked up to me slowly, tears streaming down his face. "We left you, man. We thought you were gone. The report said no survivors in your vehicle. You made the right call," I told him. "You had to get the others out." Hayes joined us, and then more guys started crowding around. Everyone asking questions, hugging me, crying. These grown combat veterans just breaking down in the middle of a VFW hall. "Why didn't you contact us?" Hayes asked. "We thought we lost you for 12 years. I tried to explain the PTSD, the guilt, the difficulty readjusting. How I'd convinced myself they were better off not knowing. How wrong I was about that. Dalton grabbed my shoulders. "We've been living with leaving you behind every single day. You have no idea what that does to you." The reunion turned into something completely different after that. Instead of old war stories, we spent hours talking about what really happened that day, how the communication breakdown occurred, how everyone processed the grief differently. Dalton told me he almost didn't re-enlist because of the guilt. Hayes said he went to therapy for years. Another guy named Trevor admitted he'd driven past my hometown 3 times but couldn't bring himself to visit my parents' house. My parents. That's when I realized how bad I'd messed up. These guys had been carrying guilt for my death while my parents knew I was alive but never thought to contact my old unit directly. We made a pact that night, no more lost communication, monthly video calls, annual reunions, and we'd visit the guys we actually did lose together. Driving home, Emma asked how it went. "I should have done this 10 years ago. You did it now. That's what matters." Dalton texts me almost every day now, just checking in, making sure I'm real, making sure I'm okay. Hayes sends dad jokes at 2 a.m. because he knows I have insomnia from the PTSD.